Hi everyone, welcome to this stream. Thought we'd have a bit of a break from the lawn chat log. Andrew is with me though. Hi Andrew.
Hello,
So we thought today
everybody.
we thought today we'd talk a bit about one of our shared interests, our favourite TV show Breaking Bad, and some thoughts on internet trolls and anything else that pops into our tiny minds. So, do you want to start with Breaking Bad, Andy?
No, internet trolls.
Internet, no, okay, internet trolls. So, I believe you've got some. You've been dealing with some recently, haven't you? So, I think you've got some
Yeah.
thoughts.
What does an internet troll mean to you? What do you think it is?
Someone who sets out to. I think our friend Dax is probably the perfect example of a troll. Someone who sets out to cause conflict.
But you've also got them that don't necessarily. I suppose people. What I've noticed is, for whatever reason, I mean, I do talk about on my channel quite a controversial topic, but it surprised me how many people I have attacking me. Um, I can't quite understand. Well, I don't know. I just think I find it odd because I try and stay clear of having being too opinionated and saying this is definitely right and that's definitely wrong. But yet there's still a great amount of people out there that make it their personal business to go out of the way to like attack me
Well,
and
that's
set up fake profiles. I find it very odd.
that's something I can't get my head round. Is people that they see a video and rather than just turning it off, they have to tell you why they don't like it and this sort of thing. It's like, well, if you don't like the video, why bother watching it?
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't I don't quite get it. Holden, Ryan, hello by the way.
Yeah, hey Oreo, hey Mark as well, hey everyone that's come in the room.
Yeah, I suppose really, does it get any worse? I think if you're someone who spends your evenings sort of going on internet forums and YouTube channels just to have goes at people, it's like there was I don't know whether you saw in the comments section someone, and Holden will know this because he actually made a comment, and someone said, "Are people still talking about this lawn thing?" And he's being quite aggressive, saying, "You need to get a life and all this kind of stuff. All this stuff bores me." I'm going, "Well, why? Why are you even looking at the video in the first place?"
But that's what annoys me because it's like it bores me. So what you expect me to cater videos exactly to your tastes? Why not look for something else you enjoy and just don't watch that video?
Yeah, exactly. I don't quite understand it. Um, it if you're someone that has to set up because someone made a profile, I can't remember what they were called, but they basically started calling me a paedophile, and I knew that they didn't really believe it. It was just a way of trying to get under my skin. It was like an attack. But I'm thinking, well, what are you trying to achieve? I'm not going to go and kill myself. You know, I'm not upset about it. It confuses me more than upsets. But these people go out of the way to try and. I don't get it. If I had millions of subscribers and was a millionaire, I get it because people are jealous. But what is there to be? I'm just a normal guy who has a YouTube channel that's got over 1,000 subs. I'm not fucking. You know, I'm not famous, am I?
I think people don't understand though. I think people think if you don't make YouTube videos yourself, you don't realize how little money they make. And I don't think people understand the difference between monetized and not monetized channels and whether they make any money at all. I think some people think you've got 1,000 views, you must be some huge YouTuber, or some people like people that aren't really aware of the medium. But I know what you mean, like the guy saying you're a pedo. It's to get under your skin because your videos come from not liking those kind of people. As like that's why we all kind of got into the To Catch a Predator community. Um, but they, it's the same with like on my main channel and my videos. When people call me unemployed, they assume I don't have a job. That really gets under my skin. They assume because I've got time to make videos that I don't work.
But you're quite someone who you've got. How many subs have you got on your main channel now?
Like about 10,600 and something.
And who is the sort of front runner of what you do? Is there someone who's got someone who does the scam baiting like you, but they've got like lots and lots more subs? Do you understand what I mean?
Well, you've got Lewis's Tech, who's my mate, who's got over 100,000. But his videos are, I mean, he does occasionally do other things, but they're mostly tech. So, and a lot of people are into all that computer stuff. And then you've got Hoax Hotel, who's got over 100,000, but he spends a lot of time animating his videos and has a proper upload schedule. But yeah, other than those two, I'd say I'm in the top half of the largest scam baiting channels. There's a few others out there that are a bit bigger, like my mate Scammer Hotline, and I'm not really familiar with him, but Malcolm Merlin I've heard a lot of good things about as well. It's a strange niche because some people's videos just don't take off at all. I think it's definitely a more popular niche with like the TCAP community. It's kind of maybe incestuous is the wrong thing to say, but it's kind of like if you like one TCAP channel, it's quite likely you're going to like all of them. Whereas I think it's more saturated, the scam baiting channels, and there's certainly channels out there that I don't always like. I know I use quite graphic language in my videos, but I like to try and make sure I'm funny at the same time, whereas some people are just kind of abusive, and I mean they're scammers, so it's always good fun to be abusive to them, but try and do it with an air of integrity. But then there's someone, you look at my friend Alogical, and she makes excellent videos, really well edited. She hasn't made them for a while because she's gone back home for a bit, but she, like, her channel, it kind of just topped out at like 500 subscribers, I think, and you know, she was making 2 or 3 videos at least a week. But yeah, so I don't know. I suppose I've been very lucky in that scam baiting community, but then, to blow my own trumpet, I'm a pretty funny guy.
You are indeed, Adam. That's why I like you. Yeah, but I don't. When there's a lot, I get about 4 or 5 thumbs down on each video. My last one had 9, which is like a record. But there are certain people out there that hate my guts for some reason. There's 2 or 3. There's and they'll go out, and I'm sure they don't spend every day, but I'm thinking it's just I just find it very odd. I don't quite get it. I mean, there's people on YouTube I'm not fond of, but who cares?
Yeah, but you just don't watch them then, do you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, do you know the video that Colossal is Crazy did about Line Maker?
Yeah, of course.
The King of Manipulation, and in that video he mentions somebody called Nicole Arbour.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
And she's quite a famous YouTuber. I think she's got 500,000 subs, so she's not massive, but she's quite famous in the US. She's been on that Whoopi Goldberg chat show. Anyway, the point is, he made that video because Nicole Arbour once made a video called "Dear Fat People."
Yeah. And
her integrity obviously was questioned massively, but I watched some of her videos and she's actually, I really like her as a YouTuber. She's very witty and insightful, and she's funny, but obviously after that people despise her, you know, and it's a strange thing, isn't it, the YouTube community, you know, we've discussed it before, how it changes people's entertainment. For instance, there's people now that are sat at home doing whatever, and for whatever reason they want to listen to us rather than put the TV on.
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't
it? It is strange, isn't it? It's like it's entertainment has changed so much, and there's a niche for every interest and topic out there. So if you know, it seems odd to me that there may be, if you got internet access, you can pretty much watch anything that you want on streaming sites. So any TV series that's ever been released you can pretty much watch, can't you?
Yeah.
Any movie or anything like that. But yet people are now choosing to spend it listening to us. It's bit odd.
Well, I think the thing with YouTube is as well. It's not like like I use a certain streaming site to watch. Like for example, I was watching Silicon Valley earlier because I love that show. Americans don't make many good comedies, but that's one of the few that is very good. But
The Simpsons.
and well, yeah, of course, The Simpsons is a given though. But The Simpsons has been in my life so long, it doesn't. It's not like going, oh, that's an American comedy. It's just The Simpsons. That goes without saying. But like twice I had to shut down Chrome because I got pop-ups trying to watch it. Whereas if I come to YouTube, I know I'm not going to get anything like that. I know that kind of sounds small, but it's quite annoying if you're trying to watch TV shows online and you keep getting pop-ups and they're like, well, fuck it, I'll go to YouTube and just watch some content that I like. But I suppose it's a strange thing, YouTube, because 2-3 years ago it was a jukebox to me. That's all I used it for, was music videos. I didn't watch any actual content on it. And then like I kind of got into scam baiting videos, and that's when I started watching clips and decided to make my own videos. But I mean, the only things I ever used to... The first things I started watching on YouTube was like To Catch a Predator clips and scam baiting clips. Outside of music, those were the only things I watched. Now like I've got into a few sort of very select few YouTubers, but like Colossal is Crazy, and there's a couple of other guys I really like Will Any. And who's the other? Oh, Stephen Tries is very funny as well, but he's very much Ricky Gervais, Alan Partridge, Steve Coogan style comedian. He even sort of jokes a lot that he plagiarizes their work. So again, it's kind of things that cater to my taste. But if you ask me, with the exception of PewDiePie, who the other biggest YouTubers are, I would have never heard of them.
Yeah, sorry, I had to nip. Just make sure the neighbours don't see I'm in. That's all.
Oh, you put the towel under the door.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, I must admit, if I ever watch TV, it's kind of, if I ever get a spare minute where I'm not doing something productive, I'll put YouTube on rather than the TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, well, I'll sit down to watch dinner and I'll be like, oh, I've got an episode to watch or something. Then I'll get a bloody two fake virus pop-ups on my computer and I'll be like, oh, bollocks, I'll just watch YouTube. Or my dinner will get cold.
Yeah, it is a stretch. Did you ever watch that Talking Dead where they talked about The Walking Dead after it had happened?
Yeah. Only a
I
few
used
of
to
them.
watch. I used to watch Talking Bad.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant because obviously that's what we're going to talk about in a bit, isn't it?
Well, it is, yes. Well, it's, just to stay with trolls a little bit longer, though, it's something I think
yeah,
you just have
I'd like
get
to
used
sort of mention Dax.
Yeah.
Because we initially, for anybody that's not familiar, there was a troll. I'm pretty sure some of you will have seen it. There was a troll on our channel called Dax Desu, who claimed to be a transgendered woman. On my channel, sorry. Who was sticking up for Lorne, and we took issue with her initially, didn't we?
We did. We fell for it hook, line and sinker. But in fact, once we were let in on the loop, I could easily see the funny side. And it was kind of a whole big plan, really, to gain the trust of Lorne, wasn't it, though? So you could although the things they were saying, it really got under my skin, what that Dax was saying. It was kind of a perfect example of a troll, because they were saying all the right things to push people's buttons and wind them up and get this conflict going on both yours and Lorne's channel. Conflict that looked like it was supporting him, but yet was actually making him look very bad, because it was all stuff like about the age of consent in Japan and that sort of thing. People are having those arguments all over Lorne's channel. So I quite, once we found out the whole thing, we did kind of suspect that it was a bit too much to be true. But Dax was, especially playing that transgender, unemployed, with a degree in liberal arts. I mean, that's a well thought out character, because it's exactly the sort of person you can see getting upset and defending those people.
But what's interesting about the Dax thing is how he confessed that he was a troll. He owned up to it, told us about it, and we never had a problem with it, did we?
No.
Maybe. Why do you think that is then?
Well, I think even with Dax though, although the arguments made me quite angry, they were still putting an eloquent argument together. Like on my channel, I had this kind of running argument with this guy where he kept saying, "Oh, come to my house," and I thought I was very clever in my response by saying to him, like I said, well, if you make a video with your face, then I'll come to your house, which of course he never did. But eventually, like, a few people saw that thread, like, because it'd been quite, he was calling me names. I was trying to be clever back, but it doesn't look good on anyone's part. And someone eventually just said, look, you should just delete that and block him from the channel. People don't need to see that kind of thing. But then I think in the comments, a bit of controversy is always good.
It gets boring otherwise.
Yeah, and also it brings people back. So you get a higher view count because they go, oh, I want to go back and see the replies to my comments and maybe comment again. So it's kind of it's difficult to tell who's just a troll that it's not worth having on your channel and deleting them, or whether to leave things there to see what other people think about what they've said. See, Ali's just said, not all trans people get offended at everything. Some of us just don't care. The SJW types need to relax. I totally agree with that. There's too many SJWs as well. And that's
Sorry, what does that mean?
Social justice warriors.
Oh, fucking hell, you mean do-gooders?
Well, people that are like, especially in one of my videos, and it is something I've tried to avoid again, but I used the word autistic. Now, I use that because I know the kind of uproar the word retarded brings with it. But it's still just an insult. It's not. I'm not trying to insult people with learning difficulties. I was just trying to insult a criminal. But that got a lot of people upset. They hear words are just words. It's like a joke, and I think we've discussed this a few times, but there's no boundaries when it comes to comedy, as long as it's funny. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have been told some jokes by people that literally some people would find disgusting for even laughing at, but it is just a joke as long as you don't take it seriously.
Yeah. And Rocker's just said, and this is actually something I wanted to talk about. The Rocker's just said, the YouTubers that piss me off are those who constantly push their merchandise and Patreon. I understand they're trying to make money, but it feels the same as those who push religion. Now, I've had a Patreon account for 4 months now, something like that, and I feel so awkward pushing. It feels like begging. But then at the same time, if you're making videos and people are enjoying them and they want to donate, that's fine. But like I've got, especially your channel's not monetized, so it's going to kind of be hard for you to relate. But I've got a friend who's got a channel. In fact, you guys, if you were here for not the last chat log we did, but the one before, my mate, who we had an interesting conversation with, but my mate Agrippa Maxentius, and both of us have been really hit hard because of the thing with the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if you've heard about this, Andrew.
No, go on.
Okay, so the Wall Street Journal basically ran this article. It was something to do with PewDiePie. It was taken out of context, but I think he dressed up in like a Nazi uniform, and it was meant to be a parody or irony or satire. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal reported it as being real, and then YouTube's lost like 4 of its largest advertisers. But not.
Yeah, I have heard about this. Yeah.
Well, not only that, they're now being a lot stricter on what gets advertised where. So, if your channel sort of falls into, which both yours definitely and mine, I would say as well, they sort of fall into a niche, bizarre category. You're not going to get adverts on the channel like before. Maybe 2 months ago, maybe I was getting McDonald's adverts, and that they would pay more for the advertising. Now it'll be like crappy adverts for local casinos or things like that. And so where we were making kind of, I don't mind, I've always been quite honest. I mean, my main channel's a scam baiting channel, so I don't mind being honest. But where I was making maybe $350 a month now. I'm still getting the same amount of views, but that's down to 200 a month now.
That's still good though.
It's not bad. I mean, on top, I mean, to make it from YouTube, but the dream ultimately one day would be able to make a living out of making YouTube videos and be my own boss. So at the same time, I don't want to push my Patreon on people, but it would I would like to make more money. But I think this whole thing with the advertisers, it will blow over eventually. It just depends how long it takes. But I think a lot of people are turning their backs and looking for alternatives to YouTube because of that. But then you look at, all the biggest channels I'm aware of, they've all got some amount of controversy to them. So, yeah, so I don't know whether now in each video I should, add at the end of each of my videos, I add my Twitter, but maybe I should start advertising my Patreon. But then, does it look like I'm begging for handouts?
No, well, I do the same. I'd just like to say hi to 6ix9ine at Oblique as well. Hello.
Yeah, hey everyone that's coming if I haven't said hello to you, sorry.
Yeah. Hello to Ali and Roka. Did you pronounce it that way?
Rocker, I think.
Rocker.
6ix9ine, am I planning on using my Patreon to travel to India? Well, I would love to, yeah, but I mean, I was going to sort of half fund it myself, and if I could make it, I was going to start not a Patreon, but a Kickstarter for that, and actually try and plan out how much money I'd need to travel to India and try and get face to face with some of the scammers. But there's going to be so many costs that are involved. Like, I'd need a companion, I'd need contacts when I get there, people to make sure that I'm not going to get thrown in the Ganges. So it takes a lot of planning. I kind of said it, and it's something I really want to do. It's an ambition of mine. However, whether I can sit down and work out what I need and then start a Kickstarter in a time frame is going to take a while. But yeah, sorry, Andrew.
No, it's fine. You're hot rocker, by the way. Just thought I'd point that out. Yeah, I had some kind of debate with myself whether to put the donate thing on my YouTube channel, because I thought it does sound like you're begging, but from the other point of view, I got a great response when I needed a new mic, and I thought, well, I'd spend a lot of hours making videos. So is it really a bad thing to just have a donate button? I don't think it is it?
No, I don't think so. And even to say once during your video, like, if you'd like to donate. But I think for you it's easier because you don't monetize at all. So people know they're going to watch your videos. They're not, you make 45-minute long videos with no adverts in them. Now, you look at some, like a big YouTuber like Leafy is Here, for example, and he makes a 10-minute video with 5 adverts throughout it. I do, on my videos that are over 15 minutes, I set automatic mid-rolls, which I don't know how many adverts that actually puts in. But yeah, a lot of people, they can either put in loads of ads, but if you're not monetizing, I think it's fine to ask for donations. And also, if you're walking down the street and you see someone holding out a cup asking for money, or if you walk down the street and see a guy playing a guitar with a hat in front of him, who are you more likely to give money to?
Yeah, that's very true, but I also busk occasionally as well.
Well, there you go, you're used to it. As long as you're not sitting outside Tesco's just with a styrofoam cup going, give me money, then you're fine.
No, I've not done that yet.
Not yet. Do you know, we have that here in Spain. Sorry to digress slightly, and it really puts me off. Like, there's so many... I understand people get in situations and maybe they have to beg and stuff, but they're everywhere, and like they're always sitting outside the supermarkets.
Cash machines.
Yeah, cash machines, supermarkets, and like sometimes I'll be walking home from work and I'll be like, I need to go in the supermarket to get a beer for tonight or something for dinner, and then they'll be outside and I'll be like, do you know what? I can't even face just saying no, I'm not giving you money. I just won't bother buying whatever I was going to buy, or I'll go to a different shop.
Yeah, I don't know. In the US, you probably don't. I don't know whether you have this, but in the UK, we have a publication called The Big Issue, and it's basically sold by homeless people. And And I always buy it whenever I see someone, because basically that homeless person is doing it to make money, and they're selling something, and I just think it'd be rude not to. I just think there's a bit of, it's not begging, is it?
It's not, no. But it's the same with busking. Like, if someone's playing a song I like, I'd be like, oh, I'll give you some money. You know, even people that beg on the street, like, I'd rather give money to someone that's doing something, like, at least trying to entertain. Like, I don't know, do some mime. You might be a terrible mime artist, but at least you're trying something. But if you just sit there waiting for people to give you money, but we've totally digressed now anyway, but I was trying to kind of compare this to YouTube and say, well, you are providing a service, and especially, you know, with the amount of people that use, and I know this has been something I've been going on and on about a lot recently, but the amount of people that use ad blocker, you actually receive 1/5 of what your predicted income is if you monetize videos. So if no one used an ad blocker, I would be making 3, 6, 9, 12, $1,500 a month. Wow.
Jesus Christ, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That would be incredible, but because they have the CPM, the clicks per mil, which is estimated at around $5, but the actual CPM is $1 because of ad blocker, which is why I've got this kind of issue with this is when I watch a YouTube video, and I know I'm repeating myself, but if like it's content I enjoy, I'm always going to turn off my ad blocker. Because even if you watch that first 5 seconds of the advert and click skip the advert, it still is something going towards them. The super chat. Yes, the super chat you can only do during live streams.
What is it?
Basically, people can donate during your live stream, and it will come up. So they can send you an amount of money, and it can pop up with how much they've sent you, and they can put like a comment in there. So if you've got like loads of people in your stream watching and you can't reply to everyone, I mean, I try to keep up with my chats and reply, say hello to everyone at least. But like, people can then donate $1, $5. I mean, someone donated $50 on my super chat, but I don't turn it on this. I don't think I can turn it on this channel.
So basically, you just why would people give money though? I mean, just to have a chat with someone, is that basically what it is?
I mean, say you're in the stream and you're really enjoying it, and you're like, well, this person's entertaining me, and they're not asking for anything in return. I mean, imagine, right, if everyone that subscribed to my main channel donated $1 to me a month.
Yeah.
That's $10,000 a month.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Yeah.
See, I might start pushing, but I'm just so awkward with that kind of... I might start, but not pushing, but might start kind of advertising to donate a bit more, especially in the current YouTube climate. Because...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've mentioned donations since I got a new mic, and I asked for people to pay for me a new mic because I thought I want a really good one, and people were really complaining about the poor sound quality, and even you were, Adam, weren't you?
Yeah. Some of your videos you couldn't listen to, and you were so nonchalant about it. Oh, just listen to it. Like, no, Andrew. Yeah, it's hurting my ears.
But I was like, well, okay, I'm not spending £100 or $100 out of my own money when I don't get anything from it. So I thought, you know what? I don't think it's cheeky to say, donate and I will invest in a decent mic. And within 2 hours, I got more than enough money to pay for a brand new mic, and the one I'm using now is quite a decent one. And I just thought, that's pretty cool, that, isn't it? And I tried emailing everybody that donated, so I really appreciate it. One person donated like £45.
Yeah, well, that shows that they really enjoy your content. I mean, you don't get up to 1,000 subscribers with shit content.
Well,
it sounded like Lorne there.
No, well, I'm not. I mean, I'm obviously not calling myself shit or anything, but I think rather than, I'm not putting myself down, but I think it's mainly because of the niche subject rather than me personally. I believe, because what you got to remember, like, I used to listen to Nathaniel Trevor's videos religiously because I enjoyed listening about Lorne and the teacup thing. I found it very, very interesting, but yet some of the videos that Nathaniel did were incredibly irritating.
Well, I only listened to like 1 or 2 of his, but to be honest, I came into the TCAP community after all the drama had happened with him anyway, so I think he was kind of on the decline. I listened to one of his videos and it wasn't for me, but then I mean, that's why I contacted you, because I enjoyed your content. So you say, oh, it's more what it's about, but it's that person's take on it as well. Like, I'm sure there's some people that, and again, sounding rather pompous here, but I'm sure there's some people that my main channel is their favourite scam baiting channel. But then I'm sure there's some people that watch it and they go, this is the worst scam baiting I've ever seen. But those people just, they don't have to watch it. That kind of brings us back to the trolls. I just don't understand why they need to then leave a comment saying, I fucking hate you. Just turn it off if you don't like it. But anyway, but yeah, I'm sure there's, you know, people wouldn't subscribe to you at all if it was rubbish. You know, there's YouTube channels out there that I've got to stop saying, you know, I sound like Steven Gerrard in a post-match interview. But there's people out there that will have YouTube channels for 5 years and never get over 100 subs.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And do you remember when I made that video making a cup of tea just to take the piss out of Lawn?
Yeah.
That's when I announced that I had a donate button, and there was one person on there that just fucking took huge offence at that video and just went, "You're a twat, you fucking horrible bastard." I was like, okay. And then a few, I'm not trying to, how can I put this without sounding like an arrogant bastard, but someone made the comment that a woman came on and said it's because you look good and people are jealous. But I was like, I was wearing a hat and that was it. You know, I was like, it's just, I don't know. It's just very odd. It's very, very odd.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we get into talking about our favourite TV show? Well, certainly, I think my favourite drama of all time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, can everybody comment who hasn't seen Breaking Bad and doesn't want to?
Oh yeah,
you know,
if you don't
find
want
this
spoilers,
boring.
because we are going to talk about some of the best moments.
Yeah, because we don't want to. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, or if obviously not every. I'm pretty sure not everybody here has watched it all, or is not a huge fan. So
Yeah,
it's kind of going to be quite specific, isn't it?
this is true. It is. So I think most people should have watched it because it is the best show that was. Well, not the best show ever. The best show in the dramatic category. Along with
I think
Wire.
it's. I would say it is definitely one of the best TV shows ever made. I don't think anybody can disagree with that.
No.
But people are. I'm not caught up on Better Call Saul. I've still not watched any of the third season yet.
Oh, I'm waiting for it. I watch it religiously every Tuesday afternoon.
I wasn't over. I mean, we don't want to talk about Better Call Saul too much, but I wasn't incredibly impressed with the first 2 years.
Really?
First 2 seasons. No.
Oh,
No.
honestly,
I love the character of Saul Goodman. I think he's a brilliant character. He was brilliant in the show. I'm not saying it's a bad TV series. It's far from it, but I wasn't, you know, over. There's other TV shows at the moment that I think are better. You really don't agree with that, do you?
I think as dramas go at the moment, it's awesome. I mean, this third season, it's like, because also they've been following a bit more of the backstory of Gustavo Fring and Hector and what's his name? It's not Tuco, the other Latin gangster guy, and it's really good. I think, I mean, it'll never be what Breaking Bad was, but you can't expect the same from it.
No, I'm still going to start watching it, but I've said before, I find it difficult to relax and watch TV these days. I've got to be doing something productive, even if I'm just doing this. At least I'm like talking to people and, you know, I don't know.
Right.
But you got to unwind sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah. So, which was your favourite Breaking Bad episode?
I'd probably have to say the last one.
The final. Well, yeah, that was excellent. But there was, I'm not sure if my favourite was Boxcar.
You'll have
or
to remind me what happened in that.
that's the one. There's no talking for like the first 20 minutes of the episode, and it's incredibly tense. It's after Gus Fring has found out. I think Gus knows he can kill Walt because what's his name? Gabe, is it? No, or
Gail Bettigan.
Gale, yes. Gale knows his recipe, and it's like the beginning's just kind of them racing to the meth lab, Gus's meth lab, and then like there's no talking, and then finally after about 20 minutes of just this completely silent but brilliant episode, you think he's going to kill either Jesse or Walt, and then he kills his assistant guy, doesn't he? Do you remember that
Yeah.
one? I think it's the
I do
first
remember
episode
that
in
one.
the
But
fifth
what about
series.
before we start going through various episodes? Why don't we sort of discuss as a whole what makes it so good?
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Um, well, I think it was perfectly cast. I think it came out of nowhere as well. Even going back to that first episode, I think from that first episode I was just like, this show is going to be badass. You know when he kind of first starts kind of thinking he needs to provide for his family, and then some people are making fun of Junior in the clothes shop because of his the way he walks, and then Walt like goes out the back, comes in the front, and puts his foot down on the lad's leg, and starts like, and then it's just like, wow, he's turning into an absolute badass, and that all happens in the first episode.
Yeah, and even though he's turned into a bit of a bad person, you still root for him, don't you?
Well, I think that's true for maybe the first 5 seasons. After that, it becomes very clear that he is the one who knocks. He is the enemy.
But you still feel bad for him when he comes to his demise at the end, don't you?
At the end, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of spoilers here, guys. By the way, I suggest if you don't want it to spoil it for you and you plan on watching it, you're better off not watching this.
I think, well, at the end he kind of realises, but he puts Jesse through hell, doesn't he? And he could, oh, fuck, I mean, how dark is he? He lets Jesse's girlfriend die in front of him because he can't let anyone know that he's been in his house.
Well, didn't he kind of let Jane die because he knew that it was a bad influence on... He was a bad influence on Jesse as far as he was concerned, wasn't he? Because if he'd have carried on with him, if Jesse had carried on with Jane, he wouldn't have been in Walt's life, would he?
No.
Anymore, because he needed him, really.
Yeah. Oh fuck! And that's so clever. How because is that the season where the things start falling in the swimming pool at the beginning of each episode, isn't it? And eventually you find out it's because Jane's dad was the air traffic controller, and he loses concentration the day that he finds out she died. That's fucking insane, the way that they kind of loop that back round, and how that's a direct effect of something Walt's done.
Yeah, I forgot about that plot point because I haven't gone back and watched the whole series again. I think I watched series 4 and 5 again, and I think it was season 3 when that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Rocker's just said the most memorable moment was when the gangster's head, was it a gangster? One of the gangster's head was on the turtle.
It was Danny Trejo.
Was it Tortoise?
Yeah, on the Tortuga. Danny Trejo, who is famous for being like a bit part in loads of movies and things. When his head on top of the turtle. Which just that is so tense as well. From the moment when Hank finds out that Walt is the man behind the what do they call it? Blue something. What do they call their brand of meth? It's like
just Crystal Blue.
Crystal Blue. Yeah. It's just the whole.
I like I think one of the things for me, I like the dynamics in the relationship between Walt and Jesse. Because Walt genuinely cares about Jesse, doesn't he?
I think to an extent, and at the start he does. I think towards
But
the
even at the end, he saves him at the end, doesn't he?
well, yeah, he does.
Part of his plan, when he found out Jesse was there, he was angry, and then he thought, you know what? Because do you not think he's retributed? He sort of he does a Darth Vader at the end and sort of saves and turns back to the good side because he sort of wanted Jesse to kill him for Jesse's own good, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he saved Jesse despite everything he did to him, and he basically gave him his life back, didn't he? Do you not think that was a bit of retribution?
Well, there was always kind of that father-son relationship between the two of them as well. I mean, I think throughout the season, he only ever calls Walt by his first name 2 or 3 times. The rest of the time, he always refers to him as Mr. White.
Yeah. But I think at the end, though, Jesse got to despise him, didn't he?
Yeah, but think of all the stuff Walt did to him. Jesse Walt forced him to kill. And although Jesse, for all his meth-making stuff, he was kind of a gentle lad, wasn't he? And he was forced to kill Gale because Walter told him he had to. It was him.
He was a bit of a petty. He was a bit of a lovable rogue, wasn't he? I would say, Jesse.
Yeah, but he was kind of like. I mean, even if you remember his entry in the first bit when Walt's gone out on the police cruise with Hank, and Jesse escapes by coming out because he's been up in that woman's bedroom window. So he had a nice entry into the show. But out of the two of them, Jesse was the more humane character. Jesse was the one with the heart. I mean, remember how much, like, with the kid and the rice and that, it's another thing Walt put him through. Just to manipulate Jesse to do what he wanted to do, he fucking poisons a little kid. I mean, Walt was not a good person towards the end.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9, representing the ABQ. What up, biatch?
Did you hear that?
I did, yeah.
I just thought that was. I was pissing my side laughing when that happened, when she heard like Jesse's answer phone message, and it made you realise that, because that was quite early on. It made you realise it had quite a sense of humour as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because the bit where they put the body in the bath and he forgets that it rots and then all the body falls through the ceiling. Now that technically is quite a disgusting thing, but yet it was funny, wasn't it?
Mm.
And I just thought that it still remains some level of humour throughout the series, despite how dark it is.
It did. I think it got a lot darker. I mean, Walt had so many kind of quotable lines, and he became such a badass. But then he became went from being a badass to just a terrible, terrible person. Like, he lost sight of what he was doing, wasn't he? Because, when he first works it out in the first episode that he needs to make, $600,000 or $800,000 to keep his family safe. And then he's got millions and millions towards the end, and he still doesn't want to keep going. Like, there's that line that's very poignant. I think it's one of the most famous lines when he says, "I'm not in the drug business, I'm in the empire business." And that shows, he becomes driven by greed in the last few seasons.
Well, it's about his ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is very cleverly written and explained, that part of that comes from Grey Matter Technologies, how they've become so successful, and he wasn't part of it, and it makes him feel like a little bit of a failure.
Yeah.
So it's about him, basically. It's about his ego, and when you see the episode that's called "Say My Name" at the beginning, it's probably one of my favourite scenes where he goes, "Say my name," and he goes, "You're Heisenberg," and he goes, "You're goddamn right." Yes. And it's like, that's just a brilliant moment, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's kind of why it appeals so good, isn't it? Because you watch a movie and it's got a badass character in it. You never think, how did they get to being this badass? Whereas you see this guy's story from the start, where he starts out as this kind of chemistry teacher that's just been diagnosed with cancer, and and needs to find a way to make money because he's worried he's going to die in the next few months, and then he starts having such a good time that the cancer goes into remission because he's loving his new life as a badass.
Yeah. I mean, you explain it like that, and it makes it a little different for me. It's like you're right. You see a guy totally changing within 5 years, don't you? And it's done in a way which is totally believable as well, isn't it? How he gets caught up in it, and how he's very intelligent, and he's kind of a genius, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because the plots and not the plots, but the tactics that he uses to get where he is virtually like he's just like ridiculously intelligent and just a genius, really. The things that he comes out with, isn't it?
There's an air of MacGyver about him, I suppose, as well. I mean, I'm not really familiar with MacGyver except for the Simpsons parodies, but I believe he was kind of a guy that always knew some kind of clever way to get out of a situation. It's just like always had the right chemicals or worked something out whenever things looked bleak. There was always a chemistry way to get out of it, as Jesse would say, science, bitch.
Have you seen that Simpsons where they're watching something called McGonagall? And like, it's just a piss take on MacGyver, isn't it? And he goes, I'm scared, McGonagall. Do it for me, Billy. And like, at the end, they go, well, McGonagall, Billy's dead. They slit his throat from anywhere. And they're all watching it. It just fucking makes me laugh. I just fucking love... You know, sometimes I'll be at work or whatever, and I'll just be doing something, and just all of a sudden I'll just burst out into laughter for no apparent reason because I start thinking of Simpsons episodes in my head.
Do you know, remember we were talking about that My New Best Friend? The one thing that always makes me laugh out loud is those two guys walking around the coffee table singing the Grand Old Duke of York. That's just, for some reason that pops into my head at least like once or twice a month, and I'm just like, oh, that's so good.
I didn't get to watch it again.
Oh, you need to see that scene again. Just even that scene when he's like, right, second verse without the ups. He's like, when they were up there, you've said up, start again. And it just goes on for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to watch that again. But we're going off topic now, talking about the Simpsons.
That's all right. It's a steady stream of random thoughts.
Yeah, me and a buddy at work will often act out almost entire episodes of The Simpsons. Yeah, well, what could be better? And like, no matter what situation I find myself in at work or whatever, I always come up with a Simpsons episode that parallels what's going on. It's quite bizarre. And even like, I was driving to Newcastle yesterday talking to my mate, and we just randomly, because I was in a strange town. Well, not strange, but I've not been to Newcastle very often. And when you're in a different part of the country or the world, you start noticing the little things, how little things are different, don't you?
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of the bit where they go into Shelbyville and Nelson goes, the fire hydrants here are yellow. And then he goes, this place is starting to freak me out. It just fucking cracks me up, that Shelbyville episode where they nick the fucking lemon tree. And
that's Lemon of Troy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious, that. It's like, you lousy Springfielders, you sick harder boy. Looks like Springfield's got a discipline problem. it's just so funny.
We'll have to do a Simpsons podcast at some point.
Do you know what? I think you're right there. We'll have to just talk about some of the best episodes. But I think with this, we'll go off. Can we talk about The Simpsons for a bit now?
Yeah.
Some moments in The Simpsons, I laughed about them 20 years ago and still basically becoming hysterical now about certain parts, and just so clever and funny. And they work on so many levels. There's like that bit where they build the monorail, and Mr. Burns has to give loads of money to the city because he gets caught dumping all the nuclear waste, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he turns up at the town meeting and just puts a fake mustache on and just stands up and tries getting. He goes, "Hello, my name is Mr. Strub, and I come from someplace far away." And it just works so as if that'd fool everybody. Just one fake mustache, and he goes, "I say we give that money back to the nuclear plants," and it just fucking makes me laugh. It just works on so many levels.
I can't remember which episode it is, but the one where Mr. Burns is giving a speech and then they're going, boo, boo, and Smith he's like, are they saying boo? And Smith's like, no, they're saying boo-earns, boo-earns.
I was saying boo words.
It's Hans Moleman, isn't it, that says that?
Hans Moleman. Oh dear, now you've done it. Mr. Snrub. Oh yeah, fucking hell. It's just, I just love Mr. I think Mr. Burns is probably my favourite character. Some of the stuff he comes out with. That bit where they have his birthday party and the Ramones are playing, and then at the end of it he goes, "Have the Rolling Stones killed?" "But sir, don't do as I say." He just works on so many levels as if he has the power to just order a death like that. And he just gets the band round the Rolling Stones killed.
I think my favourite is probably Lionel Hutz or... what's
Yeah,
his...
like Roy's living skyscrapers.
I'm still fighting that case against the never-ending story.
Mr. Simpson, this is the most blatant case of fraud advertising since my suit against the film The Never-Ending Story.
He's just brilliant, Lionel Hutz.
He wasn't in it enough because Phil Hartman got killed, didn't he? Got shot and killed.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, who did the voice for Lionel Hutz. That's why you don't see him after season 10, I believe it is.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, his wife shot him, and I probably shouldn't joke about it, but my theory was he was walking around the house going, "Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember," and she's like, "I can't fucking be dealing with this guy." Bang!
Yeah, we shouldn't laugh, but that is funny.
No, we shouldn't laugh. But yeah, some of the Lionel Hutz, I'm just trying to think. The one where they're in the Omatex, the restaurant, to fucking court because he didn't have all he could eat.
Oh, yeah. That's the seafood restaurant one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Because Mrs. Simpson, what did you do when you got kicked out? "We went looking for another all-you-can-eat fish restaurant, and when you couldn't find one, we went fishing." I have no further questions.
That's one of the really old ones, but that's still really good. But see, I can't. I'm
You're
not...
the judge and I'm the law talking guy. The lawyer, right?
And I think it's the best quote of any Simpsons ever is Lionel Hutz when he says, and I know last time we talked about the Simpsons, but it's just my favourite quote ever, is when he's "Oh no, Judge Reinhold. Oh no, what's wrong? He doesn't like me. Why? Well, I accidentally ran over his dog with my car. Oh, well, if you replace the word accidentally with repeatedly and the word dog with son..."
I kind of ran over his dog. Uh-oh, with John Judge Schneider. Is that bad? Oh, yeah. "Mr. Hutz, you don't wear any pants." Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, this verdict is written on a cocktail napkin, and it still says guilty, and guilty is spelled wrong.
Yes.
Rest your case.
I think
Case closed.
out of all the animated series, though, like I know it's going to be a controversial thing to say. I'm not a huge Family Guy fan. I watch it when it's on. But the Simpsons is always classic. It's always been there. But I think the one that makes me laugh out loud the most has to be South Park.
Yeah, I'm not. I never quite got it, really.
It's very clever the way they kind of take on, especially like the last series during these current elections, and they kind of had their equivalent of Trump and Hillary. and it was very clever satire. But yeah. So, shall we continue with The Simpsons or back to Breaking Bad? Or how long have we been going now? We won't go too much longer because I need to go and play some FIFA soon.
55 minutes.
We've nearly done an hour, so we'll talk for a few more minutes. Let's take some questions from the 15 people watching. Anyone want to throw some questions up to us? Hopefully, I think we're on a bit of a delay, so we'll have to wait a moment. So if you have any questions for Andrew or myself, let us know, guys. We'll take these last few minutes to interact with you guys. Hi, Kayla Princess. Oh, God. So yeah, if anyone's come in the room and we've not said hello to you, I do apologise. Try and address everyone that comes in, takes the time to watch these podcasts. Are we going to cover more Predators? Well, I'm sure Andrew is. I might do some, once we finish the Lawn chat log, we might do some more chat logs. It's just finding the ones that aren't too stomach churning.
Yeah, I must admit I've not done any. I've not done any other Predators, but we are going to do. Definitely, it's just getting the time. But there's been that much going on with lawn. I can't spend much time making too many videos. And someone just commented on my last video saying, "I think you need therapy to get over your lawn obsession. It's out of control."
Well, fuck 'em.
Yeah, I don't think that's strictly true. Really, I don't sit there fucking thinking about him all day.
You do other stuff, so it's fine. It's
every now and again I do other stuff.
Yeah. Travel Agent, you didn't like the laugh track, and normally I hate comedies with laugh tracks, but the two I make an exception for is The League of Gentlemen and Alan Partridge. I think with Alan Partridge it's that funny you don't notice the laugh track, but The League of Gentlemen is brilliant. You need to just try and forget about the laugh track. 6'9" says you should analyse Corey Ahia, Andrew.
Yeah, just remind me that's
the Bart Simpson one. The one that looks like Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson. Oh, that guy. Right, yeah, I might do. Because he's kind of an unknown Predator. I'm from Manchester, by the way. Rocker. Is that how you pronounce your name? Yeah, there's lots of other Predators to do. The ones, you see, some of them are quite dull. I don't know why, and I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with Lorne, but I have a unhealthy fascination with him, but I find him more interesting than any of the other Predators. As a human being, as a psychology study, I find him fascinating. And you do to a degree, don't you, Adam?
Yeah. I mean, I got into it just because I liked watching all of the clips. It's only kind of accidentally I stumbled across this sort of... I mean, I definitely wouldn't consider myself a Lorneographer. But I like to watch the videos. And I mean, he is interesting. I mean, but I would say overall, Jean-Pierre Wary's clip is funnier. It's more of a laugh to watch than Lorne's. But Lorne's is just like... It's really... Schadenfreude just watching... Well, not Schadenfreude because he's not our friend, but, like, it's just...
Yes, Manchester, for anybody that asked, by the way. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, go on.
You just get to see the guy in, like, the lowest ebb of his life, and it's reality TV. It's just... I don't know if it makes me kind of sick or strange for taking pleasure in watching that, but... Anyone that does go to meet a child for what he wanted to meet him for, they deserve what they get. So, yeah, it's very enjoyable to watch that. And because there was so much content from him, I think that's where the fascination comes into it. Because no one else had a chat log that long.
Yeah, it's a combination of factors, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are mentioning the James Rutherford interview. Is Rutherford? Can I just clarify? Rutherford is the cop, isn't he? The school teacher that got done. I think he got remarried as well. Someone said.
I don't know. I think I watched a lot of the interviews. the ones I found most interesting are the ones that the guys that had the weirdest fetishes, and when the police call them out on it. But some of those interviews, they're a bit boring. And the ones where they ask for an attorney after 10 minutes aren't even worth watching.
Yeah, I agree. Some of them are quite dull. But the for anybody that's not seen it, the Dusty McFetridge police interview is brilliant.
Oh yes, it is. But he's the one. He's the real Southern one, isn't he? And he keeps going like, I don't like lawyers. Oh no, he's Mickey Mouse, isn't it? I don't like lawyers. And that was the Kayla voice, wasn't it?
He does sound a bit like that though.
Yeah. It's a question. Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. That's the one, isn't it? His police interview is...
I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Oh, because that's it. It's so awkward as well. And then police... It's like, oh, there might be some hand cream or... I've got to stop doing that because it sounds just like Kayla voice. There might be some hand cream or KY jelly. And the policeman's like, well, either it's hand cream or it's KY jelly. He's like, I know the difference and what I'm using each one of those things for.
Yeah, he just wouldn't own up to it, would he?
No.
But yeah, it is. For anybody that's not seen it, not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I do quite a decent analysis of the interviews on my channel that
Andrew's
might be worth
channel's
watching.
in the description there, guys. So if you haven't checked out his stuff, then I think most of you here have seen it. But if you haven't, go and check it out after this podcast.
If you want to, of course. Yeah, so maybe we could just finish. We've not really talked about Breaking Bad that much, have we?
We haven't, but we did a little bit. Well, let's have a quick discussion on best episodes. Now we kind of covered the basics.
Yeah, I like every episode from season 5 is brilliant, is gold. The last 5 or 6 are all equally as good as each other in my opinion, but what's the one I was thinking of where I don't know, I don't have specific standout episodes apart from the last 5 or 6.
See that
really?
The one with the train where they have to siphon the methylene from the train. That episode is just so cinematic and well shot, and also I think I've mentioned before I'm quite like trains, so that had everything I wanted in it. Trains and like just when they're sort of the train stops for just 2 minutes, and that little montage is just awesome. That's why I love Better Call Saul as well, because it uses that same kind of epic cinematography. Those like fast cuts and all that. I think both of those shows, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, they're just so well shot.
Yeah, you're right. I had an episode in my head that I was thinking of but I just can't think now which one it was. I'd say the one where Gale does get shot by Jesse. That's really intense, isn't it?
Yeah. That is very intense. That's kind of where the first time Walt really manipulates Jesse into doing something properly dark.
Yeah. Cheers for the sub, Rocker, by the way. I've subbed you. Anything else? Does anybody got any more questions before we go?
Yeah, any last questions, guys? Give them a couple of minutes. They're not the fastest bunch.
Yeah, I've got some tidy. I had a poker night at mine on Saturday, and I've still not tidied up from the poker night because I've been staying in Newcastle. But it just looks like I'm just a raging alcoholic at the moment.
Is your house just covered in beer cans?
Just beer cans, a poker table, loads of takeaways.
You're not sleeping on the floor, are you?
No, I've got a couple of beds in my establishment. 2, actually. And Lawrence didn't have 1.
No. So you're You're twice as good as Lorne.
That's something, and it would. Why we've touched upon this before? Why didn't he just invest in a bed?
we can discuss that till the cows come home, but we'll never know why he couldn't even afford a little airbed or anything. Daniel asked, "Do we watch pro wrestling?" I don't.
Pro wrestling, as in WWE.
I think that's what they mean.
When I was a kid, I fucking loved it.
Really, it never appealed to me. I like boxing, but I think I always kind of knew it was staged, and all the kids.
Well, I've got some mates who are like same age as me, and they fucking love it. And I say, well, it's fixed, and they go, well, so's a soul proper, but you watch that, and I'm like, yeah, it's just entertainment, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah. But I'm not going to say that because a lot of people might get upset. But why do you want to watch two men in speedos hugging each other when it's all set up? You know, at least boxing is like a display of aggression and power and fighting, whereas wrestling's just all, just watching sweaty men rubbing each other. There's got to be some homoeroticism there, surely.
Oh, never really thought of it like that.
It's you can tell your friends next time you see him. My mate says that he thinks you're repressed homosexuals.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it is completely staged. So I saw someone had posted a clip on. In fact, have you seen the Louis Theroux documentary?
No, I've not. I didn't watch it.
The wrestling one. Oh, you need to watch that because he goes and all the people in the professional wrestling are really cunty and nasty, and then he goes and meets these guys that do proper fucking wrestling, and it's dark as hell, and they use barbed wire and shit. But all the guys are really nice.
Yeah.
See, MMA, Daniel, I like MMA. But that's proper fighting, though. I like most testosterone-filled people. I enjoy watching a good fight, as long as it doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah.
But wrestling, I don't know. I've never seen the appeal.
Each to their own.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up kind of there, guys, because done over an hour now, and I really need to go to bed at a reasonable time this evening, and I've still got to get in at least 3 hours of FIFA. Well, Kayla,
3 hours?
3, yeah. It's Team of the Season, Andrew. They've just released Team of the Season. I need to earn coins to buy these players.
Fair enough.
It's Premier League Team of the Season. I need 95 rated Alexis Sanchez. I need 92 rated David Luiz. Even though I hate Chelsea, I'll make an exception because he looks like Krusty the Clown. So yeah, I've got to put some effort into that. But yeah, we'll are you free tomorrow night, Andrew, for doing some of the chat log?
I think it probably will be, actually, yeah, because I'm off Wednesday, so I don't have to go to bed at any time. And I'm probably going to give drinking a rest for a while.
Yeah, I'm on the energy drinks tonight because I've been overdoing it recently.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, well, thanks so much everyone in the chat for joining us, as always. Thanks for joining me, Andrew.
Yeah, cheers, Adam.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this sort of taking a break from the chat logs. This channel is kind of a creative outlet for me, so I'm hoping to upload just some stupid videos. I've got a few plans, but when you think things in your head and then you're like, I'll get round to it tomorrow, and it never happens. So yeah, there should be some more different, not always chat log content coming to this channel, guys. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks again, Andrew, and take care, everyone.
See you later, everyone.
Oh, and delete your archives.